So when you call e-commerce complicated, well, God bless you. Now, I can help. I can't necessarily help you get into those stores, but I can help you to increase your shelf turn. Once you get on the shelves, I can help you get into additional stores, and I can help you get more of your SKUs into the stores that you are already in. All right, guys, I have a really tough job today. I've got to figure out how to help you increase your in-store retail shelf turns. I've got to figure out how to help you get more SKUs into the stores you're already in. And I've got to figure out how to help you open up more stores and or regions in the retail chains you're already in. And just to sweeten the pot, I've got to do it on a lower budget, more cost effectively than what you're spending now through all of those crazy in-store promos and demos. This is going to be a really tough job. Friends, my chances of success are 100% because we do this all the time. Here at Elite Commerce Group, we are an omni-channel digital commerce agency. And one of the things that we do is we help the brands that we work with increase their retail shelf turns and get into additional stores and get more SKUs into the stores that they're already in. Now, before we kick this off, I'm going to ask for your help in thanking our sponsors, the like button and the subscribe button, because we have no sponsors. And I could really use your help so that we can stay relevant and continue to bring you great content and help you grow your brands. As a thank you for your help, I'm going to show you this picture of the beautiful Keanu Reeves, because he is such a cool guy and he would hit the like button. WWKD. What would Keanu do? I can tell you what he'd do. He'd hit the like button. Running an omni-channel digital commerce agency, I have brand owners tell me all the time, Eric, I don't know how you do what you do. I don't know how you figure out the Amazon algorithm, how you do SEO and digital advertising on Chewy or Target or TikTok Shop or whatever. But what I happen to know is that I have the easy job and you guys have the tough job selling into retail. I watch brands pay these crazy expensive slotting fees and jump through hoops just to get in the store, just to get a chance, and then have to pay crazy amounts of money to run demos and buy these expensive end caps and do all these kinds of promotions where they can't even see their ROI and somehow make it work. And by the way, 70 to 80% of new products fail within the first year. So when you call e-commerce complicated, well, God bless you. Now, I can help. I can't necessarily help you get into those stores, but I can help you to increase your shelf turn. Once you get on the shelves, I can help you get into additional stores and I can help you get more of your SKUs into the stores that you are already in. And I can do that with a measurable ROI to the penny. A really good ROI, actually, to the penny. There are two general ways I can do this, and both of them involve digital advertising. All right, the first digital miracle baby I'm going to give you comes by way of a concept called the single cart checkout. The single cart checkout was really born during the pandemic when people were locked inside and everyone was going to die and nobody wanted to go into retail stores. So they opted for methods of delivery like e-commerce or curbside pickup or home delivery. Now, post-pandemic, those modes of delivery never really went away. And because they all tend to be relatively popular still, retailers have no choice but to continue offering them. Now, they don't want to have three different platforms for the three different ways that people tend to want to have their products fulfilled. They want to have one electronic platform. So what they do is they'll have one marketplace that showcases all of their products. The customer will shop. They'll load the same cart regardless of how they want their product delivered. And then at the end, they will select their method of delivery. Now, here's where the magic comes in. Amazon taught the world that digital advertising is very lucrative, and pretty much every retailer that has a marketplace wants a piece of that pie. So We can generally figure out how to advertise digitally on just about any retail electronic marketplace. The difference is when we do that, most of these marketplaces, when we advertise, the prevailing delivery method is not e-commerce, but curbside pickup or home delivery. That means that when a customer buys, a picker goes and picks that product off of a store shelf in order to fill that order. We run digital ads. Customer clicks through those ads, they load their cart, picker takes it off of the retail store shelf, bada bing, bada boom, retail shelf turn. Now, the best part about this is every single one of these digital advertising platforms that I know of gives you a very specific to the penny ROI. So you know exactly what your ad spend is driving, you know how profitable this is, and even if you don't convince the store buyer that your product turns, and even if you don't convince them to buy additional SKUs and put you in additional stores, which they probably will if you're turning your product correctly and sufficiently, but even if they didn't, you can see your ROI and you've got a tremendous amount of control. And it happens to be a really good ROI. In fact, just about the best ROI I have seen is running digital ads on grocery store electronic marketplaces. So to make sure I deliver the most value possible, I'd like to gift you every single digital advertising platform I know of that you can use to drive in-store retail sales. Now, if you want to drive your sales in Walmart, you can use Walmart Connect. If you want to drive your sales in Kroger, they use a platform called 8451. If you want to drive your sales in Target, they use a platform called Roundel. And then there are some third-party platforms like Criteo. You can use Criteo to drive your in-store sales in Staples, Best Buy, CVS, and about 40 other marketplaces. You can use Citrus Ad to drive your sales in ShopRite, Petco, Costco, and about 20 other electronic marketplaces. And the best part is retailers are coming up with platforms all the time. There are a number of retailers that are building their own as we speak. One of those is Sam's Club, Walgreens, Costco, and a litany of other retailers that are going to be launching digital ad platforms very shortly. For most retail chains, there is some option that you can use to advertise digitally to access a very specific to the penny ROI in order to drive your retail shelf turns. Now that was method number one. Method number two is built around a platform called Instacart. If you're wondering how relevant Instacart is for your brand or your products, the answer is yes. Instacart is the Swiss Army knife of digital advertising platforms. Instacart is partnered with over 1,400 retail banners and a total of over 80,000 different retail stores. More importantly, it's not just grocery anymore. You can purchase alcohol, beauty products, sporting goods, clothing, pet supplies, just about anything through Instacart. So if you have a physical product brand, chances are Instacart is going to work for you. We are still early in the Instacart frontier. Here's how it works. Customers that want their products delivered to their home have the option of shopping on Instacart.com. They pull up the website, they type in the product that they want, they select from a list of products that come up that are within their delivery radius, and then Instacart selects a driver, just like Uber or Lyft. That driver drives to the store, they pick the product off of the retail store shelves, they check out, and they deliver that product to the customer. So if the shopper types in, say, brownie mix, and you're selling grandma's famous brownie mix, that's your product, you can enter brownie mix as one of your many keywords into your campaign. Your ad comes up in front of the customer instead of being buried behind hundreds of offers by Betty Crocker and Duncan Hines and Pillsbury. Now you've just skipped to the head of the line. Customer clicks through your listing because your product is better, and voila, you have retail store shelf turn. And once again, just like in those other digital advertising platforms, you are delivered a to the penny ROI, and bonus, they're going to tell you how many of those sales are new to brand? How many of those sales are to customers that have never purchased from your brand, at least through Instacart? Pretty cool. Now, the last thing I want to give you is 3 very specific strategies that you can use with either of these 2 digital advertising methods that I just showed you. The first strategy for using digital advertising to grow your brand in retail is pretty simple. It goes like this. You get a couple of SKUs in a retail store or chain, you turn on your digital ads and you just drive and control the amount of shelf turn that you get in those stores. You convince the buyer that you are doing well, you strengthen your relationship. That's the first and again, the most simple strategy. The second strategy is if you have a few SKUs in a store, especially a chain, whether it's a very small chain or regional or national, doesn't really matter. Instacart is partnered with almost everyone. So you get a couple of SKUs on the shelf, and then the next time you have a review to introduce more of your SKUs, you're going to back up about 2 or 3 months and really hit the gas hard on the SKUs that you already have on the shelf. That is going to communicate to the buyer that your products work in their stores with their demographic, and they're going to say, you know what? If those products work, if those SKUs work, more SKUs are going to work as well. That's strategy number 2. Strategy number 3 might be a little bit more costly, but it can be effective and it can be less expensive or a good investment overall in the end if you're able to get products onto store shelves using this method. The way it works is this. For retail marketplaces that allow third-party sellers, you can build out your brand or your products on that marketplace, and even if you don't have any SKUs on store shelves, you can start running digital ads to show the buyer before you ever get to a review, or maybe even before you ever reach out to a buyer. You're going to show them that your products work in their stores, number 1, and number 2, that you are willing to spend to drive sales. That's going to take some of the risk out of it for the buyer. Now, you're not going to get the same return as you're going to get if your products are on store shelf. It is a little bit more bloody using these different advertising platforms to drive e-commerce sales. They don't convert the same way. But again, if you can show a buyer before you ever present to them that you are willing to spend, that you can get at least some sales, then it's going to take a little bit of the risk out of it for them. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you need help, please reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn, Eric Martindale. You can leave me a comment right here under this video, or you can visit our website at elitecommercegroup.com. And one more time, if you got any value from this video, I'm going to ask you to thank our sponsors, the like button and the subscribe button. And once again, I'm going to give you one more beautiful picture of Keanu Reeves. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate those of you that made it this far, and we will see you in the next one.